Hello and welcome to our live crafting this evening. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I do apologise. Time has just run away with me. We had coffee and card this morning, followed swiftly by a class this afternoon, and time has just run away with me. Let's pop some lights on and see where we are. So, good evening to you. My name is Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining live, do say hi. It's always lovely to know who's watching with us. If you have any questions or comments or feedback as we go along, then do say hi and pop a message in the live chat section. If you're watching on catch up or replay, then you can find me here on Facebook or on my YouTube channel. Just look for Jenny McCormack or Jemini Crafts and you will find me. So we are focusing on the last of the retiring items from the annual and the January to April catalogue this week in preparation for our new catalogue, which is coming out next week. Hi Catherine, thanks for joining us. I seem to have got piles of things all over my desk. This is from sort of in between one lot of class and another, so I apologise. So what we're focusing on today, I haven't used this set for a while. This was one of my favourite sets from the annual catalogue, and it has some stunning papers. And I've just checked. Okay, no worries Catherine, her battery is running out. All of these items are still in stock, including the papers, which is quite unusual. It's a stamp set called Happiness Abounds, as you can see here. It features 15 stamps, of which there are 6 floral stamps and 2 leaf images. And then you have 7 sentiments. So we've got a birthday, a best wishes, we've got a friend, you're wonderful, congratulations, sending many thanks, wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. These stamps are slightly smaller on this index sheet than they are in person. These are them as they are stamped out. So they are outline stamps in this form, and they're perfect if you love colouring. And if you don't love colouring, you can stamp them onto patterned paper or coloured card. So these are the dies as they're cut out, and the dies also include this really pretty background pattern, of which some of the elements are cut out and some of them are just highlighted. If I turn this sheet over, you also have these 2 dies. And I love these because you can make it look like you've torn a page out of a notebook. So you have these 2 dies. And then this is to show you just stamped onto some coloured paper. Actually the papers that go with the stamp set. These are coloured in. And this one's coloured in, and these are all from the papers. These have been fussy cut with scissors, and these have been cut out with the dies. And there are also some glossy dots that coordinate with the set. I am going to sneeze. I'll just warn you now. Phew, excuse me. Okay, so these are from the papers, these are stamped. Those are the stamps. These are the dies. They don't really mean much when they're just like that. I think the example here shows them off much better. So you get these 2 and then this one, as well as the dies that cut out all the stamped images. So the stamps are now £13.20 for all 15 stamps, and they're photopolymer, so they're easy to stamp and work with. The dies are now just £15, so you can have the whole thing for £28.20. But the papers are also still available. Now, I used these, I think, the first time these came out for my class in a box, and you literally get hundreds of flowers on the papers. So these you can cut up if you wish. These coordinate with the dies, and you've got lovely, really bright spring colours. And if you're not keen on the detailed florals, if I turn these over, you have some lovely watercolour and bold patterns. You've got this one here with a watercolour rainbow. This one here has got some blue on the backing, obviously just cut out a small element of that one. So I really do recommend these papers as well. Can't believe I've actually got that many left. I think I bought them and did the class, and then I haven't really touched them since then, but they really are stunning. The papers are still available. They are at full price, £11.25, and they're literally just wall-to-wall flowers. Obviously, if you're not keen on flowers, that may not be the set for you, but you know me and my flowers. So the papers are called Hues, H-U-E-S, Hues of Happiness. The stamp set is called Blossoming Happiness. Right, just going to put these away because I'm just going to be doing some stamping. So I'm using the retiring set, but I'm showcasing one of the new colours. And that is this lovely soft pink. It's called Bubble Bath. This is available in the new catalogue. And I'm going to use the sample in the catalogue here as my basis. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but it will be similar. If I just lift that up. So I've got the flowers and leaves just stamped together on a little piece of white card that's got the die cut edge, and then that's on some backing. There's actually 2 layers there, but I'm probably just going to use 1 layer and a white card. Okay, so that's on page 163, and the stamp sets, if you want to look at them, are on page 109 of our outgoing catalogue, which is this one here, and there's some fantastic samples there as well. I know you can't see them in detail. Okay, so let's get cracking. I want to find that sample again now. There we go. Just that I've got it to hand. So I hope everybody's had a good day. I have pre-cut a piece of card, and I wasn't sure how much I needed, so I've cut a piece. I cut this piece here, but then noticed there was a mark on the card, so I'm going to be using this piece on the left hand side. I'm going to stamp some flowers, do a little bit of colouring in, and then I'm going to stamp on this as a background with the same bubble bath colour, and then I've got the pens, and I'll pick out a green as well. So I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso. There's no surprise. I did manage to get, we all got very inky at class today, because I had an old ink pad which obviously wasn't stored flat, and it sort of leaked everywhere. Okay, so let's do our flowers first. I'm going to do that in Espresso. Here's my block. I knew it was here somewhere. So do say hi if you're watching. Tell me what sort of day you've had. So this is Happiness Blooms. I've coloured in a poppy here as a sample. It makes a lovely poppy. Sorry about the reflection though. And they've used some of these little flowers, which I will add in, and some leaves. That one, and I think they've used that one. And some nice interesting sentiments, and these work really well for where you stamp around the edge. Draw this with a line. I'll show you if I get a moment. Okay, let's grab this one. Probably should have a pad underneath, but I've got a fairly flat work surface I'm working with. Yeah, we've got very inky. And it was Pretty Peacock, the really deep blue. Oh, hi France! She's caught us live while she's taken a rest from cleaning. Wow, what can I say? That's a very good decision. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this flower here. This isn't a line on my craft table. I use wallpaper underneath here. It's a roll of wallpaper, so it's not actually over a line, in case anybody's worrying about that. And then let's pop some leaves and things in. Oh. It's a beautiful blue sky here now. It's been a lovely day. Slightly chilly, I would say, but a lovely day. Okay, so here we go. Just going to add in, take my glasses off, some leaves, like so. That's that one. Let's add some of these little flowers. As I say, these all have dies as well. And I'm not worrying about this going off the edge, because I want it to almost look like you've just torn it out of a sketchbook. Let's add one of these other flowers. You've got two roses, and then you've got more like poppies and things. Excuse my lack of horticultural knowledge. There we go. But we did have fun at class, and we had great fun at Coffee and Card this morning, so we've had a full-on crafting day, some of us. So there's that. And let's just add so I'm not bothering to mask off or anything. I'm literally just stamping around that area. You could, if you wanted to, mask everything off there and have them overlapping, but I'm just going for fairly quick and simple design. Famous last words, of course. Okay, feel it needs something here. Let me just try the very small flowers. Here they are. And I am going to trim this down on the right hand side. Just got these ones here. Like so. Okay, so I'm going to do some colouring in, and I'm going to chop that. While that's just drying, I'm going to stamp some of the flowers on this piece of bubble bath paper. Let's use, I use that flower. I'm going to use the smaller one. Just feel that's a little bit overkill. Or I could just use the leaves. And just want to clean that. If only I could find my stamp cleaner. Okay, let's find the scrap, that will do. So I'm just going to do this as a background. I'm hoping that's fairly clean. Find my ink pad. So these are all the coordinating new colours. So this is Bubble Bath. Hi Scott. Hi Dee. We had great fun, didn't we, Scott? I'm still covered in ink. Okay. Lovely. So I'm just going to stamp around this. Now I know I'm going to have this and I might trim this down. Put a piece underneath, like so. That's the new pricing. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this around the edge. Just making sure I rotate it. I've got something on there, I can see that. Of course I can't see a cloth to wipe it off, but we'll just go with that. So I'm just stamping the same colour. This is called tone on tone stamping. Just to give me a softer background rather than just a plain card. This piece of card is cut 10 centimetres by 14.35 I think, and if it isn't I'll cut it down. Okay, there we go. So just a little softer background, and make sure you're going off the edge and don't be afraid just to add something on the corners so it looks sort of filled in and no gaps. Okay, so that's going to be our backing. This is going to be cut down, so I will cut this down and you'll only see a little bit of this backing, so I'm not too worried about that. And let's grab this new Bubble Bath colour then. So this is the dark, and just going to scribble in the centre of this, of these petals, like so. You could use a black for this. Those of you that follow me for a while know that I don't like to use black, only because there's so little black in nature, and I know this is quite a dark colour anyway. So here we go, this is the dark Bubble Bath, just laying down some colour where everything overlaps, where you might have a shadow and where the artist has kindly given us a clue. You could also follow the colours in the papers. So if you are struggling to colour these, this is fresh freesia. So you can see where the light and the dark is. Sorry if that's reflecting a little bit, but so here from the papers, you could copy that colouring, and then it's just got a little bit of yellow in the centre. Or just do your own thing. That's the nice thing about, especially about stamping. Okay, so just popping that in there. So these are blends pens, these are alcohol markers. And then I'm going to use the light one with the brush tip, leaving some areas of white. And the main reason I'm using the brush tip is just to speed everything up, like so. So I just think this is such a fabulous set. So Blossoming Happiness it's called. And it came out in the annual catalogue for the first time last June, I want to say. There we go. And so this, along with all the other retiring items I'm focusing on this week, finishes on the 1st of May, so that's your last opportunity to order. Hi Diane, let me lift this up. This is a colouring one that Diane would like, I have a feeling. So I'm just going to keep this pale pink. And what colour shall I do the little flowers? Shall I keep those pink as well? That's the question, isn't it? Let's do a little bit of yellow in the centre. So I stamped on the background, if anybody missed that, with one of the smaller flowers. Let's just take So Saffron, so a relatively light yellow, this centre here, and here. And just put a dot in these centres, like so. And I am going to keep that pink as well. I've decided going all out pink today. And then a little bit, I'm going to use a light green, so probably soft sea foam, a really light green, so that it doesn't overtake the flowers. Now in the sample in the catalogue, they did these obviously in different colours, but I'm just sticking to one colour because I'm liking this new pink. It's one thing I think we've been lacking, is a soft baby pink. We have our balmy blue, which is quite a nice soft blue. Okay, let's fill these in. And I'm just doing a single brush stroke for these, I think more than that. There we go. Okay. So, just going to do some of those leaves. Just need to find soft sea foam, which I took to class. There we go. I just want a pale green, I don't want it to overpower our flowers. So this is called Happiness Abounds is the name of the stamp set. Blossoming Happiness are the names of the dies, just to confuse you. Right, just quickly then, a little bit of dark here in the centre and here. so. Adding a bit of light. Thank you, Catherine. I do like my pinks, I have to say. Okay, this is light soft sea foam. Just using the bullet tip for a little bit more detail. I think you could even tinge those leaves with a little bit of pink as well if you wanted to. Okay. Try to speed up because I went on a little bit the other day. But we are back here tomorrow, so if there's any retiring sets you'd like me to use, assuming I have them of course, then just message me and let me know, or comment on here if there's anything that you've seen me use perhaps in the past or you've seen a sample of. Okay, so there's our pretty little flower. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to cut this down. When I can see, there it is, my trimmer. Let's get it the right way around. So I know this is the one that's got the mark on, so I'm going to trim this to here, and I'm just going to take this edge off, like so, maybe even a little bit more. So I want to make it look like I've sketched it as if and torn it out of the notebook. So you could rough this edge up if you wanted to as well. And so here's my background that I stamped. Still quite big actually, isn't it? I could cut that further. But what I'm going to do is I may put a sentiment in there and just cut this down here. Like so. And this is going to go onto a white base or a soft seafoam base. And let's just see whether this Best Wishes will fit in there. And funnily enough, I've got to do a birthday sentiment. This is Best Wishes. Funnily enough, I've got this tiny little piece here that I cut off. I'm going to try that. And I'm not going to do it in the pink because I think the pink will be just too light. So I'm going to do it in espresso. There's no surprise there. But I do like this edging. I noticed in the new catalogue there was something similar. Not exactly the same, but something similar. So this says Best Wishes. Like so. Probably would have fitted, wouldn't it, to be honest. So, what I might do is slant that, or am I going to go straight? That sort of works, doesn't it? Like so, do we think? Let's grab a white card base. Just going to cut one up ready. and I'm going to do this as a landscape card, I think. But I just think this is such a pretty stamp set. If you love flowers, I think this is another good choice. I know we have so many, and I do apologise because we have so many, and I love flowers. I'm absolutely no good at gardening. My garden doesn't have any flowers in it at all. It is just grass. Okay, so that's going to be my backing. Let's pop that on. And I'll just decide whether I'm going to go at a jaunty angle or straight. So a scribble of glue across the back. This is going to go onto here. So this piece I've cut is 10 centimetres by 14.35. So it's half a centimetre smaller than the outside layer. And then, actually, oh no, it would almost work like this as well, wouldn't it? Because that looks like a notebook going that way, doesn't it? Oh, now I'm torn. Or like that. Okay, folks, I need you to help me out. So, question number 1. Landscape, just my original thought, or portrait like that? I'll see what you think. I can tell when it's catching up with me because I can see the subtitles come up on my phone. Because my original thought was like so. But I've got quite a lot of white space here, haven't I? Portrait looks good, says Catherine. So that's that way like that. And this could go any way, really. I mean, that's slightly upside down, isn't it? But this is not critical at all. Portrait with sentiment at the top. Portrait. Everyone's going portrait. Yeah, I think because I stamped it further down, I think it works well because it looks like you've torn it off a notebook like so. And then sentiment near the top. Like so. Or across the middle. Okay, let's put this layer down. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And I need to send a card to one of my sister-in-laws, and so this is where that's going. It was fortuitous. I was thinking, what was I going to make? So thank you, everybody. Everyone says portrait, good. And so it's just a case of where I'm going to put my best wishes. Or if it goes that way, I wonder if there's a better sentiment, I don't know. An angle? Yeah. Okay. Right, just taking the backings off. I'm just doing this over my bin. I don't know why I'm doing that, because you should see my floor after I've been die cutting all night. Okay, I'm going to pop this at an angle You could add a blending brush with a little bit of ink around the edges. If you wanted to do that, you could use some dots. You could do the 3-dot method that I did yesterday for a bit of infill. All sorts of things you could do with that. And it's just a case of where do I put this, and I want this sticking out. What I could do is stamp it on a little bit of the pink, because I know this is wider than I need. So I'm just looking to see which way it's wider. Should we try it on a little bit of the pink? That might give it a bit more oomph. There we go. Glasses off again. Like so. Trimmer that I've buried. It's behind me. There we go. So this is about 1 centimetre long. Yes, that's nicer. That would work there then, wouldn't it? What do you think? Yes, I like that. Well, it would work anywhere really, wouldn't it? But I feel that would be nice to fill that space, wouldn't it? Okay, just going to cut that. Going to cut it at an angle. Now, or actually, oh my God, now I'm going to cut it straight. Otherwise I've got too many angles going on. Like so, or like so. I feel that needs to be straight. Hi Jeanette. And of course this still works that way round, doesn't it? But I think like so. Do we think that works? It's too busy down here. Yeah, it's going to go at the top. I'm just going to trim this a little bit more so I haven't got so much surplus, like so. Like that. Okay, a bit of glue. I'm not going to put that up on dimensionals. Catherine's got thumbs up, yes. Thank you, Catherine. So, as I say, the stamps are now £13.20, and the dies are just 15. And if anybody wants to see those again, if you missed the beginning, then I'll happily show you those. Do you think that's straight? One way to find out. 2. There we go. And final little bit is some bling. So I know I've got some soft pink bling. Whether I can find it is another matter, folks. I've got a 50-50 chance of it being in this packet. I have got this soft pink, but there's another one I'm looking for. Okay, here it is, this one here. Go. So these are mixed set of sequins. We've got blue, pink and gold. And I think those pink ones look really sweet. Oh, nearly poked my eye out with my scissors then. Trying to take my glasses off with my scissors in my hand. Silly girl. Okay, so I'm going to pop 3 of these sequins on, and they're sort of multicoloured. So they sort of change in the light. 1, 2. Yeah, balance that out. There we go. I'm really pleased with that. This is one of those stamp sets that it doesn't really matter what you do with it. It always looks good. So there we go. Just some simple stamping, colouring in just with 3 colours, I suppose, because I use the yellow in the centre. You could even leave some elements of those uncoloured. I can just see I've missed a stalk, but to be honest, I don't think that matters either. There we go, and there's some tiny little leaves, but it's such a small amount that I don't think it matters. You don't really see it. So there we go, I'm happy with that. And it's all ready. All I need to do is pop a sentiment inside and walk it down to the post box this evening, and that will go at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and it'll be on its way. So I'm really pleased with that. So this is Happiness Abounds, another sadly retiring stamp set, but it has been around for a year. These are the stamps. Let me show you the stamps and the dies. So those are the stamps in black and white. And this is a background die, and then this is different elements cut out. So this is stamped onto some of the paper, this is stamped and coloured, this is fussy cut from the paper, and this is cut from the paper. And then you've got these different elements of leaves, and then these 2 dies that cut this really lovely edging, which is what I've used on this one here. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And if you missed the papers, I'll just show you. If you've seen these already, then you don't need to sit and watch this, but I just love these papers. So literally hundreds of flowers. That's those together. We've got this one here, and I did a class on this. And if you bought the stamps, the dies and the papers, you can buy my class for just £10, and that will give you lots of ideas on what to do. So this is the online class that I did, but all of my online classes are available to order even after the class. So they're just so pretty. If you like nice bright spring, summer florals, and then you've got the watercolour effect on the back as well. This one here, this one. So the papers are still available. They are £11.25. So you could buy the whole set, the stamps, the papers and the dies, for 10, 20, 38, 45, I think. And that's the whole lot, if you wanted to. So thank you so much for joining me. Sorry I've gone on yet again longer than I intended, but it's called called Happiness Abounds. The papers are called Hues of Happiness, and the dies are called Blossoming Happiness. Goodness me, make us work for it, don't they? Okay, so there we go. Thank you so much for joining me. The colour I've used is a new colour. It's called Bubble Bath, a really nice pretty soft pink. Hopefully you can see that, even though it's translated from my camera through to your camera on your phone. So thank you so much. Do take care. If you want to order anything, I am ordering on a regular basis, and if you need any assistance, just let me know. Oh, France is off to do her housework. Well done. I'm very impressed. So thank you so much for joining me. Do take care. And tomorrow, oh goodness me, tomorrow's Wednesday morning. So I'll be doing another product focus on something or some things that are retiring. And come next week, we'll be on to some brand new products. I don't like to show products that you yourselves can't order at the minute, so I apologise for that. But there's plenty of demonstrators that are, but there's some great bargains to be had, and I do like to be able to share that with customers. So hold fire, new products coming soon, I promise. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great morning, afternoon or evening, depending on where and when you're watching, and I do hope you come back and craft with me soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care and bye for now. I'm off to cook some dinner and tidy up my craft room. Thank you so much. Cheerio.